All right, welcome to week 4. So we're a month into the course. I hope you're enjoying it. Um, and I've enjoyed certainly your posts. And if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so just some logistics in week 4 before we get to kind of the preview of the week. Um, there are more items due today. I think for this week there's 7 items due. And in previous weeks it's been a little less, but there's also not a ton of reading. And, there's one documentary that's about 18 minutes and one video that's very, very short. So it's not a lot of time in terms of the content, but you will be spending more time on a couple of other items. So one, your first short assignment is due this Friday at 11:59 p.m. It's Turnitin. There's an assignment. The first short assignment is on the NU Learn homepage. The directions for that assignment are on the main kind of block, the weekly block, and the Turnitin assignment is again on that NU Learn homepage. You also have your second quiz due. So that quiz is due by Sunday, 11:59 p.m. So the short assignment is due by Friday at 11:59 p.m. and the quiz is due by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. There's a class poll, so it'll be quick to do, and that's based on an ethical issue related to Newman. There are 3 discussion boards this week. And just one note about the discussion boards. You have to submit 4 times per week. One of those submissions has to be a post related directly to a discussion board prompt. So you have to give your own thoughts, your answer to the prompt. One of your submissions has to be a response to one of your classmates, or my posting to you. And the other 2 are either responses or their original post to the discussion board prompts. But 4 total, and they have to be substantive. They have to be a paragraph each, at least 5 to 7 sentences. And if you don't get there, then you can make it up by doing multiple posts. You can do more posts, or you just don't have your full credit for that week. In terms of the posts of the week, so I just want to make a note about this. Again, I've been really impressed so far with what you've been doing. The posts of the week aren't necessarily the best of the best or something like that. I try to pick the posts of the week just based upon the idea that they're highlighting different issues or different areas of the topic. And so I want to use those posts to alert you to here are some different ways to think about whatever topic we have to discuss. Okay, so this week is Radical Egotism Continued. So we're continuing this theme, we're continuing to do case studies, and just so we're all clear, radical egotism, what I mean by that is that all or nearly all of your energy is devoted to you. So 100%, 95%, 90%, the focus of your energies, the focus of your time, the focus of your activities, the basis of your decision is what is best for me. And in radical egotism, other people matter very little or they don't matter at all. They can literally be used by you, the egotist, for whatever purpose you have in mind. So the radical egotist could literally kill others, could literally destroy others, could literally humiliate others, literally degrade others if it suits his or her purpose. But it's also important to notice the radical egotist could be very kind, and very generous, and very nice, and very helpful if he or she views kindness or helpfulness or compassion as a way to get what he or she wants. The important point for a radical egotist is that the only thing that really matters is his or her goals, desires, plans, so on and so forth. And that means that you, if you're not the radical egotist, other people around the radical egotist, they simply think about them in terms of how they can use them to get what they want. Now, last week, the radical egotist case studies were more clear. When Adam Lanza goes in and shoots up a whole bunch of kindergartners, literally kills them, destroys their life, shatters the well-being of the parents and the families, and produces a tragedy that will never heal. And if he does so to live out a fantasy, maybe to play because he wanted to play a video game in real life, or because he wanted to be famous, in that case, literally the only thing that matters is his goals, or his fantasy, or his desires. Now, if you want to kind of raise an objection, you'd have to say something like, maybe he was mentally deranged, so he didn't know what he was doing. But even so, you could say, look, he didn't know what he was doing, but what he did was still extraordinarily egotistic. The Westboro Baptist Church, it seems like he's a very egotistic guy. He's going to people's funerals. He's protesting these funerals. At their most vulnerable time of their life, he's holding up signs and placards. Um, and again, it seems very, very egotistic. This week, the case studies are a little bit more ambiguous. They're not quite as clear. And so that's useful because we can think about, well, are these people in these case studies really radically egotistic? We could also ask, well, maybe they're not radically egotistic. Maybe the only thing that matters is not simply them. But we could still ask, are they selfish? Are they egotistic? And if so, are they egotistic to a degree that you would consider them immoral? Are they too selfish? Are they too self-absorbed? So we've got 3 case studies. One is a WWE wrestler, former WWE wrestler named Razor Ramon. And we'll look at this documentary from ESPN about his life, about how he kind of spiraled into drugs and alcohol and partying, left his family, destroyed his career, so on and so forth. And we'll ask, well, is this the case that he really only cared about himself? The second case study is very, very short. It's just a promo video for this Broadway show called Rock of Ages. And you see these people saying, I've seen the show 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 40 times, 100 times, blah, 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 blah. And the issue here is, are these people self-absorbed? Are they spending too much time and money on kind of their desires, on their whims, on just what's making them feel good? Do they have an obligation to use that time and money for some other purpose? And then finally, one of the discussion board prompts is simply a question about the shuttle service at Newman, particularly the Rav to the Bachman shuttle. So that shuttle goes up and down every day, all day, using a lot of gas, requiring vehicle maintenance. You have to pay a guard to do that. And the question is, the fact that we have that shuttle service, is that an indication that Newman students are lazy, or that they're self-absorbed, or they're egotistic? Is that shuttle a waste of resources, or does it serve a legitimate purpose? So that's week 4. I look forward to your thoughts and posts, and if you have any questions, let me know.